Hello. How we doing? I am Yalk, and I have been a little bit absent from posting lately. What with the real life and the moving and the settling in and all of that stuff that is really unfortunately unavoidable. However, we're mostly settled in at the moment, and so I have some time to get back to what really matters. So, figured not a ton going on this week. Figured I would sort of update you on what I had been doing with this account. Actually, with both of my lower level accounts, which at this point are both getting to the stage where they are interesting. This is, well, hockey sticks. This is the 46. And up here, the capital K is Special K. So Special K here had a second solo on this account this morning on a pretty easy gambit. It would have been extremely easy except for that laser back there. But this is actually the 37 account. And we are now able to do some things. And I have tried to, a little bit of smoking, very timely there. Pick a nice spot, trying to stay away from the laser as long as possible. Unfortunately, had to have the heavies. Without the heavies, this kind of didn't work with the machine guns around, but the heavies did detract the laser. But just had enough, because the laser stays fixated on this one heavy for so long. The rest of the girls back there had some time to work. And then, when that one heavy dies and the laser switches to the next, we're down to 3 Zukas left. But either way, it worked out. So that account's starting to get interesting. And one thing I have done on both of these accounts to help that out. This account, you will notice, to zoom out over here, I've been able to open 2 tribes at HQ18. You can open 2 of the tribes, and I have put, this is the tribe that was smoke duration, and it switched to gunboat energy, so I've upgraded that a couple times and have it upgrading. Oh, it finished its upgrade. So actually have a potential upgrade there again. So I have extra GBE on this account. Does not apply to the 37 account. And didn't do anything with the critters over here because I don't have critters yet. You don't get them until HQ19, which I can't get until level 47, which is taking a while to get to. I'd hoped to get there by last crab and did not make it. Anyway, so with the extra GBE, this account has been having a lot of fun, and I'll show you some of that. And one of the reasons for that is that I have pulled up, as you'll notice there's a gap here. I left my Power Stone chance, which is a pretty good Power Stone chance, and I'll explain my thinking on that later, but I pulled up my Resource Reward statue, and instead I put out a second damage statue, this 11% over here. And I did this specifically last week. It was on one of the Jungle Dr. T days, and I got to stage 6 or 7, and a couple of times got so close to getting it down, but just, there was nothing wrong with the attacks, I just didn't have the damage. And I decided that it was worth my time to put the extra damage out in order to get those rewards, specifically Dr. T, because there's 2 Jungle Dr. T's a week, so that's extra crystals, and crystals mean statues and crystals mean powder. So I still did leave the PSC out because I still do need to upgrade statues, but even that one I'm considering pulling up as well and just going with straight, at this point it's GBE and troop damage. And I do have a health because I do have the heavies. I often have to use heavy Zuka, as you will see in a few of these hits that I have been. Let's see, this is with War Factory. We'll look after that. This is the smaller account. War Factory went down this week. It was a pretty easy War Factory. And here we go. There's a 58. But both of these accounts I've been doing very similar things. The replay directly ahead of this one was from the 37. And it was very, very similar to this. drop the heavies, let them get out front. I've switched to brick a lot more for damage potential recently. I can speed it up actually because I want to go through a couple of these. So I have the GBE now to do these things. Get back to a base and sort of reposition myself and get right where I want to be. You see with the heavies, nice separation out front. The cryobomb enables a lot of this too. So a shock over here, a cryobomb over there, heavies to absorb damage, nice separation with the Zookas, and the Zookas just melt through the HQ. Which was... yeah, so here this was 37 versus 48, and this is the 46 versus a 58. Same idea, both cases. This one, I guess I did have Sparky on this one. Not sure why. It's kind of my default, and in some cases I've gone into a hit and gotten partway in to ask myself, why is she here? I love Sparky, don't get me wrong, just there's a place and a time. So here we cleared a little bit of an area back there behind the core, just enough. Get the heavies out front, flared the sniper tower in that case to pull them out a little bit extra and to make a little bit more of a wall, and the Zookas just sit back there and do their work. That would have been a case where I would have preferred to have had brick. So just kind of a brain cramp there. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was this is the 46 versus was a 61, and seriously, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Insane. I don't know what this person was thinking. Anyway, the drop is the same. Barded out those 3 towers. Need to avoid this laser as much as possible. It does fire once. So we're trying to get out of its range, and then once we get to there, we should be able to flare straight up, and we're clear on this base. Those won't be able to range. The critters actually hurt us a bit there because they activated the laser. But get to here and there's just a couple of machine guns to clear. Very, very stupid base layout. I like my comment on that one actually. It must be hard to get through life being this dumb. That's a 61. This person must know about critters. Like, what are you? I don't even know. This is the lower level. This person had a laser. So this is a 37 versus, what's this, a 40 something anyway. So in this case, threw a shock right away on the laser. Didn't want to take the longer path. Even with the cryobomb around, that just seemed like it was not going to be a really good expense of GBE for me. So just trying to keep the girls under smoke. The heavies wandered out a little bit, but not too big a deal. And we just try to get past the range of the laser. Flare backwards just a little bit to be sure, and to pull the heavies out front when we reflare. And down goes that. Plus this person made it especially easy by leaving all of these things under one shock right in the middle of the base and putting a shock launcher right up front so it's out of range. Excuse me, out of range from the back of the base. So lots of attacks like that. Oh, this was fun. This I actually messed up pretty badly and managed to win. Idea was, so we were going to go AZ on the guy, and the idea was park right here, and I should be able to clip this microwaver, machine gun, 2 flames under 1 shock. Did not get bricked down in the best spot there, but actually it worked out because she ended up, sort of like the heavies do on occasion, she ended up providing a wall, so I could start smoking a little bit later. And then back here, here's another shock, and then we can just throw a cryobomb back there. However, all of that predicated on the first shock of those 4 specific towers. And I go ahead and miss one of the flamethrowers. Cryobomb to the back, here's the shock over here, as I said, and one of the flamethrowers is just wrecking me. Right in the face. Straight on. Horrible. And still went down. Cryobomb is that good as for mine clearing and for stopping things around the base. If that had to be shocks, I could not have done it. Why did I not put this in Do Not Disturb? It never fails. Here's a 58. It's been a few days, so I haven't... Oh yeah, this is a fun one. He left this path right up the side, and the only thing I really have to worry about... well, I'm a little worried about staying away from the CMOs on this one, but I had figured... Again, with the heavies, let them get out front, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to get right to the side of this base and walk up the wall. And we're going to get to a certain point where none of that stuff is even going to matter anymore. Right up into the corner. Oh, nope, take it back. This is the extra GBE at work right here. Bunch of extra smoke, so we take a sort of a secondary path. Stay away from the CMOs, throw one shock out there, a cryobomb out there, don't even have to worry over here about the rocket. And down, that was this one. Sorry, it's been a few days since I even looked at these because I've had no time for much of anything. And let's see. Bad base designs. I mean, a lot of this is attributable directly to bad base designs. This guy, I believe I'm going to park right between these two rocket launchers because there's a nice spot to sit. And then a shock over here, like a cryobomb over there. You kind of get the picture. Midway flare here, just to group everybody up. We're probably going to have to flare back again. Yeah, and there's a little bit of a peak on that, I remember that. So one shock, cryobomb, oh, another cryobomb over there. Not even really all that necessary, to be honest, and the HQ is already gone. What's this guy? 58. This one was interesting. I mean, I got the guy down, yes, but I was trying to do so. I was trying to be a little cagey here. You see the range of that microwaver, and I was trying to walk up this path right here. And probably should have started slightly more to the right to try to do that. And so right around here, you'll notice when I flare, some of the Zookas peel off to the left-hand side, and watch what happens to them. That microwaver is just ripping them apart. And even so, I haven't found the microwavers to be too much of a problem. I haven't run into too many bases where you see twin... Like, I had expected to see these things arranged each side of an HQ, and that really would be a problem. One in front of an HQ, you could usually work around it. And the range on them is even less than a hot pot, so it's kind of similar to that. Just stay away from it, and it's not a nuisance at all. But you could see it at work there, and it was just peeling them off, just as the column progressed. I thought that was pretty cool. A 61, and again, all with the extra GBE. I can't even take advantage of the critter tribe boost here. I'm clearing out a pocket. Again, just love finding these rocket launchers close to an HQ where I can sit in the blind spot. That's one less thing for me to worry about. I would guess here we're probably going to do like a shock, and a cryo, something like that. The mortar is a bit of a concern over there. Can stay largely away from the CMO entirely. I'll have to walk past it, but you know, it's more like sitting under smoke that worries me about the CMOs. Sitting under smoke and waiting for your smokes to disappear so you can attack, and they're picking things off. Not that big of a deal. Actually, I deploy them more against armor than anything else because they do have a pretty steady fire rate and they do good damage. It's like 1,500 or something per shot, and a shot every second. So yeah, shock on the mortar, shock there, and a cryo to the right hand side, and that is plenty. And down goes that HQ, just making things go boom left and right and all over the place. The cryo, I think, as I've said, is in my last video, which was again a while back, is kind of a GBE extender to my way of thinking. I don't remember what we did with this guy. I attacked him mainly because of his name, which I'm not going to say out loud. But with a name like that, I just couldn't ignore him. The cryo is a huge GBE extension because all of the mine clearance that it can do, how much of a base it can shock. If I were to drop it, say, over here, you could stop everything in this base, I would imagine, from that mortar all the way over to this Doom cannon, and from this cannon almost back to this cannon. That's like half of the guy's defenses in a sort of a compressed, compact base like this. That's pretty significant. Shock, a cryo. That other cryo probably should have been more like to here. And I could have gotten, between the two cryos, I'm pretty sure I could have gotten everything. Actually, take a look at it and maybe critique a little later. So I'm saying with one cryo can do almost all of this, and that second cryo should have been more to this side of the base and should have been able to, and mine should be more like that. So this is how I draw. I'm sorry, it's kind of an impediment. Look how much of the base, if I'm guessing accurately, and you can judge, I'll speed through this, but you can judge for yourself whether I'm guessing accurately. Let me get, but I mean, you can see right there actually. So that first initial cryo, yeah, we're getting minus that sniper tower. That's even a little bit more than I said. So if I had thrown the second two cryos, and they're not that expensive either, which is the other thing. If I had thrown the second two cryos more accurately, that much of the guy's base is negated. And still there's enough for one shock, which goes back here on the machine gun. That is, I mean, if you were trying to shock all of the towers in that range, that would be problematic to you, whatever attack style you're using. It would, I can't even imagine how much GBE that would take you. I might be able to do it with my big account, but on these accounts, never, never, never. And here from this morning. No ice on this one. As I've said before, I don't know why I see ice at all, but here's, it does make it a little bit easier, but having the ice doesn't make things so much harder that it's worth having. I mean, this guy has none, and he goes down fairly easily, but it wouldn't be worth his time to bother having any ice because he'd have gone down anyway in this situation. With the cryo and the one shock on the two rockets, which are too close together, and we're done with that base almost before I come out of smoke. I mean, it's kind of nuts. So, have been having a whole lot of fun with this stuff. I'm going to do something now before we leave. So this morning I still can't get my, apparently I didn't get my supply chest until very late yesterday. 2 attacks from this morning, very quickly, and both on Dr. T. And the first one needed a tiny bit of improvement, both failures, but not that much of a failure. Gather up on the beach, all Zuka, straight back to the masterpiece, which in a lot of cases on these Dr. T bases, I find that the masterpiece is the place you want to flare to. And what I was counting on here, I was thinking I should be able to get mortar, 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 and rocket under one shock, another shock over here for mortar and shock launcher, and then just a cryobomb to collect all of that stuff over there. And on this first attack, I missed the rocket launcher, so that wasn't ideal. However, got the HQ really, really, really close. Just not quite close enough. Also, I figured I used a little, when looking back at my own replay, I figured I used a little bit, I could have used more of the delay, so I could have waited a tiny bit longer before throwing my first shock. So I tried it again, same troop loadout, same approach. Cryo, clearing mines, gather up on the beach, right back to the masterpiece again. Nothing wrong with the smoking or pathing on either of these. So here, just trying to throw things a little bit later. Landed my shock that time. Nope, still didn't get that rocket. And again, got things much closer. Or still very close, but not quite there. Still just a little bit left on the HQ, like I could need one more shot. I'm going to try this again. Well, I want to get this down today. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try one more time unboosted, just cause. And if need be, I'm going to, if it doesn't work, then I'm going to boost up this damage masterpiece to get it down. And my thinking on that is, it seems like kind of a waste, right? I get this down, I get a crystal. However, to boost, to get it down, I have to spend a crystal. So in terms of crystals, and crystals equal powder. So in terms of crystals and powder, I get nothing, correct? Okay, but then there's also the fact that, I mean, there's more than one kind of crystal, and to me, not all crystals are even. So let's just imagine I'm not necessarily spending an offensive crystal to boost up. I mean, I have these crystals which go for nothing but powder, and these crystals which go for nothing but powder. I've already spent crystals over in the trader over here to get wood, so I could do a big upgrade. Or no, actually, so I could upgrade this tribe over here. I've already done that, and that's fine because those green crystals are nothing but powder to me, and down the line I can get that powder back. I spent 2 powder to get this tribe upgraded to level 4. Okay, not a big deal. I can get that back in a couple days, somewhere in the future. So that seemed like a worthy trade to me. And here, okay, so I'm trading in a crystal to get a crystal, but that's also going to give me a crystal. Let's assume I'm wasting another green crystal, like I did this morning. I don't care about green crystals, except for the powder. And as far as that goes, we'll survive. Oh, did I? Nope, missed those 2. As far as the powder goes, we'll survive. However, I am getting a crystal that I want to have. Here, we would be getting a purple crystal, which, I mean, there are purple masterpieces that I want to make, including and especially that 42% GBE masterpiece. So for me, that seems like a trade-off worth making. A crystal that I don't necessarily need and want for a crystal that I do need and want for a masterpiece that I hope to make as soon as possible. Have lost delay on the near rocket launcher, I notice. And again, the pathing on this is pretty easy, so it's not anything about that. GBE comes out the same every single time. It's really about trying to get the most out of the delay as possible. We're looking pretty good here, actually. Hopefully I won't have to boost. We've got 1 shot left before those mortars fire, and that goes down. Fine, I made very careful that time to get that rocket, along with the 2 mortars, and then the med kit. And so we don't actually have to waste the crystal to get the crystal. However, bottom line is I get the crystal that I want, and that makes me very happy. I have been thinking with the trade-off that I made, ditching the resource reward. I really... Okay, ooh, and it's a crystal that leads directly to the masterpiece. I didn't even realize that. So, yeah, bam. And 10 hours from now, I have a date. Sorry, I like this game way too much. Yeah, so on my 37 account, I just dropped resource reward and put out another troop damage. And I have a sculptor upgrade coming, and that will be... No, put out another GBE, and then the sculptor upgrade will give me troop damage. And I'm going to use that, same as I do here, to go out and beat more bases. And so yeah, I don't get the resource rewards anymore. Great, whatever. But I should also have the ability to beat more bases to compensate for the fact that I'm not getting as many resource rewards. And honestly, at some point I will consider doing the same with the Power Stone chance, especially now with the crabs. With all of the crabs that we have. God, that sounds awful. Let's just skip right past that. Anyway, with all of these Mega Crab events, the ability to go and build up powder is there all the time. So I don't know that a Power Stone chance is... It's certainly not going to hurt you, but it might not be as necessary as it was in the past to build up powder. So I'm seriously considering dropping both of them and just putting out more damage, more GBE, and beating up on more players, as I have just showed you. Anyway, that is way too much talking by me. Hopefully we'll keep these shorter in the future by having them out more frequently and not trying to cram like a week's worth of Boom Beach fun into one short recap video. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Any of that was interesting to you, then go ahead and drop a like. If not, don't. I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, I have absolutely nothing to do today, and it's beautiful, so I'm going to get back to that now. Hope you're as lucky as I am. Have a great day. Out.